Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and I'm not even doing a disclaimer today because my video is not necessarily about crypto per se. What this video is ultimately about is BitBoy crypto and the Hit network and what's been going on over there recently. And I will say that it's a very sad situation that is apparently transpiring. And I'm not going to make this video long, but I want to make some points. Okay. Now, obviously, everybody in crypto knows BitBoy. I've known him personally since long before he was big on YouTube, TikTok. I mean, he and I were friends back when he was making animated cartoon videos about crypto for fun and just to like make people laugh and have a good time. And I never understood why he put so much effort in these videos that would take him weeks and weeks. And they never got many views. And he was very underappreciated at the time. And ultimately, he ended up going over to TikTok and started a completely different, unrelated channel over there, and just built a massive following. And he did a lot of videos related to, the dark web and things of that nature that would really kind of capture the interest of the public and kind of creep people out or entertain people. And then he basically brought all of those people over to YouTube, people who are obviously not YouTube fanatics, and he created a whole new market of crypto fans, and he's educated those fans since then, and his growth on YouTube, ultimately seeded by this big foundation from TikTok, really helped him become one of the first people to reach over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And he really did a phenomenal job at just bringing the two worlds together and building the cryptocurrency base that much more. And, a lot of his content for years has been very tongue-in-cheek, but educational, very much from a place of compassion, very much from a place of just wanting to help educate people the best way possible. And of course, as you're doing something like that, you have to hire help as you grow and the demand on your time grows. Like, I'm personally looking to hire an assistant of my own, because there's so many things that I know need to be done better that I'm just not doing, and I need to get that help. And sorry, folks, it has to be someone local. It can't be a remote job. You don't have to email me. But there's obviously been some stuff going on about the Hit network, and apparently it's a legal situation. And I'm just going to read a couple statements here. This is BitBoy Crypto on Twitter. You can see it's over 1 million followers here. This is the actual account. This difficult decision is a culmination of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional, physical, and financial damage he has done to the employees of Hit Network and the BitBoy crypto community. The Hitsquad deserves better, and we are going to get through this together. We wish him the best and regret that it has come to this, and are hopeful for the future of BitBoy crypto. Now, I want to start off by saying right off the bat, that to me is a very backhanded slap across the face, not just to Ben, but to anybody reading all of this. Why is that? Because I don't know all of the nuances associated with the Hitsquad or the Bitsquad or that group. Or I was under the impression that Ben had founded these companies, hired all of these people to build this secondary company or other companies as it related to helping to generate quality content for BitBoy Crypto's channel. Now, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But what I know is that when Ben was fine, if what they're saying is true, he gave all of these people jobs. And he did, from what I understand, a really good job of employing people that enabled them to make a living off of their passion. And they didn't have big channels. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think any of them had any substantial channels on YouTube, or they probably wouldn't be working for Ben. And so when I see this, I'm really taken aback by it. I have been skeptical of, well, not necessarily skeptical, that's not the right word, but my wife and I have talked about Ben many, many times over the years and how he's been noticeably changing. And, I think what was once a substance abuse addiction that Ben has been very open about ultimately changed into his addiction to grow as an influencer, as a YouTuber, as a TikToker, or what have you. And he did that. And he did that exceedingly well, better than the majority of us. And I feel that when you're fueled, listen, I don't care who you are, you have some form of addiction, okay? Whether it's video games, whether it's chocolate, whether it's, watching the same, TV episode night after night after night. I mean, we have all these different little addictions, right? And some of them are chemical addictions that really can take over somebody's psyche, physicality, I mean, you name it. And Ben spent a long time, suffering through various addiction, and then ultimately transformed his life to try and help change the lives of those that are exactly where he once was. And I know he's spent money and he's spent time as a counselor, a youth counselor, trying to help young people. And this isn't all just about like, oh, BitBoy's so great, BitBoy's so great. What this is about is there are things in our lives that change consistently, week after week, year after year. And it's really how we are challenged in our lives and how we ultimately overcome those challenges that ultimately matter. Now, the rumor is, based off of what these guys have put out into the public, which I feel is quite frivolous in a lot of ways, because it kind of labels Ben in a certain way, and it makes a lot of accusations without really defining what that is. And I don't think that's right. And ultimately, in some degree, I have to believe that they're biting the hand that's fed them for years now, at a time when we've been in a bear market, and a time when I'm doubting there's been much revenue coming in. And I'm assuming that the majority of what he's been paying out, I don't know what he makes from YouTube. I know I never even pay attention to what I make in YouTube monetization because it doesn't mean anything. And I feel really bad overall for everyone involved. Now, have there been things that have happened in the background that I'm not privy to? Absolutely, I'm sure. I've heard a lot of rumors. I've heard that Ben can be very aggressive. I've heard that Ben can be difficult. It's really, really sad. I saw a video once, and I don't say which one, but I had an idea that I'm like, something doesn't seem right. And I texted them and they're like, oh, he's just really tired. And I'm like, I know what it's like to be really tired, and that doesn't look like it's tired. So I have to assume that this has been something that's been kind of going on for a little while now. I mean, I'm guessing maybe within the last 6 months to probably a year. And you can see BitBoy's personality, how it's changed over time. And I feel like when your ego and your enthusiasm and every part of your being is just constantly lifted by the fans that appreciate you, like you, are always telling you how great you are, how great you're doing, and you start to thrive on that, I can see how the ego can manifest in ways that can become a very strong detriment, and in some ways almost make you feel invincible. The way he has gone after so many people, which he looks at as a public service, and in many ways I'm sure it is, but he's been very much putting a target on his own back for so long with this kind of I forget the mythological, flies up into the heavens and basically burns himself getting too close to the sun. And that's ultimately what this reminds me of. And the whole point of me doing this video is I know that more and more stuff is probably going to come out about this. It looks like they've already started. I'm just telling everyone at Hit Network, this is not the way to go about this. I feel like, I understand that I'm not on the inside over there, and I understand that I'm not the one that's been dealing with a lot of these issues, maybe swiping some of it under the rug and dealing with the whatever's been going on. Okay. But to do this all publicly in a way that's trying to basically say the person that gave us this opportunity and has been paying our bills for so long is the bad guy, but we're here to help, while we're basically publicly outing all kinds of stuff about this. I mean, honestly, if there was going to be a separation or even a legal separation of entities or companies or whatever, they could have just said, you know, we're having some internal changes. We'll announce them whenever the time comes. You know what I mean? We're not getting into any details right now. Let this all unfold, sort itself out. Then maybe take an approach to actually figuring out how to help Ben. And maybe Ben's in a position where he doesn't want any help. Maybe right now he's in a position where he looks at everyone as a potential enemy. I don't really know. I've never been substance addicted, but I have my own addictions, my own vices. You know what I mean? We all do. And I think that I really want to see this work out for everyone. But while a lot of the stuff comes out, I can see a lot of people becoming very polarized. And there are going to be a lot of people out there that hate Ben, and they're like, oh, he told me to buy some coin and I did, and it dropped, and now he's the enemy. There are going to be a lot of people out there who've known Ben for years and years and know who he was before he blew up and got really big. And a lot of these changes started to manifest and ultimately change his energy in a lot of ways. I mean, that my wife even told me the other day, she's like, you know, the last couple times we've seen Ben out at conventions and things, his energy has been so not good. And you know, it's just different if you knew him from way back. He used to be very endearing, very like cuddly, very funny, very sweet, but very sharp, very smart. And his way was very humble. And he's kind of grown into this big figure in crypto. And like, was it Copernicus? I can't remember the mythological person, but it's very similar to that. And I think ultimately it's just a very, very sad situation that I believe Ben is a strong dude, man. And I think that if anything, this could be good timing. I think this is a really big opportunity for Ben to potentially take a break for a few months, regather himself, you know, reestablish his, you know, what matters to him most. And you know, surround himself with true friends, you know, obviously his wife, his family. And I know he has some true friends. That true friends are not people you're paying to be there. I don't care. You know, and I know some of you may disagree, but ultimately I am from the school that if I am paying you to do a task or to do a job, I'm also kind of paying you to be my friend, right? Oh, let's go grab drinks after work. I don't really want to, but he pays my bills. I'm going to go. That's the kind of, they're not true friends. None of these people are. They're employees, former employees, whatever. I think Ben really needs to surround himself with people that can be very unbiased, give it to him straight, and tell him, no, you're wrong in this instance and you're wrong in that instance, but these are ways you could try to make those things better. I would like to see this come to a fruitful conclusion for everyone. And while a lot of you out there, and this is really the whole reason I'm doing this video, is because I know that there are going to be a lot of people out there that want to just dump all over them. It's always a coward's way to kick someone when they're down. And that's the easiest thing that I can say. You know, obviously they're having issues. Ben's having issues. Maybe figure out ways to try and help the Hitsquad, help BitBoy, help show support and show, because you know what? I don't care if you like or hate Ben. You feel one way or the other because he puts out content that is a magnet for you. Whether he's entertained you for years out of the, oh, I don't like this guy, but I'm going to watch him anyway. You know, maybe that Jake Paul effect, or you just genuinely really appreciate all of the work that he's put into building these teams of people that he trusts to deliver quality information to you in the crypto space. Maybe take that into account before you start jumping into a whole bunch of flame wars all over the interwebs, basically kicking a man while he's obviously having issues and is down. I think Ben will work through this. I think he will come back. And if anything, I believe that once this is all concluded, I think he'll come back stronger than he ever was, because I think he's going to have a new perspective on how things should be, maybe the way he wants to handle himself and his business affairs moving forward. But I think ultimately it starts with maybe he has to hit that wall and go through it before he can rebuild it, and it become the foundation for something much stronger in the future. I don't know all of the details about this, but ultimately I just wanted to say, listen, Ben, if you ever watch this, I do support you. I feel for you, man. I think this could be a blessing in disguise. Work through it. Take your time. Be patient. Everyone will be here waiting when you get back and you've done what you need to do to get well. As for the Hitsquad, stop airing all the dirty laundry in public. It's not helping you. It's not helping Ben, and it's not helping put anything into any real perspective, because I'm sure there are a lot of details that you just can't get into publicly without some sort of exposure to legal recourse. So I would suggest take the high road, not a fake high road, take a real high road. Maybe keep your mouth shut for a while. Focus on what needs to be done. Everybody can wait for the details when they're ready to come out. Until then, crow your coins, and I'll see you soon.